Handbags for the inverted triangle. In today's video, we are going to uncover what handbag styles look best on this beautiful silhouette. If you're an inverted triangle, give this video a like and comment in the box below so that we're in the know. Before we dive into the fashion tips of the day, I do want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. My name is Tracy Hensel. I'm a certified professional coach. I help ladies just like you transform into the elegant version you desire to be. You can find out more about me on my personal brand website as well as my coaching and consulting website. Both of those will be linked in the description box below. Like all videos, the very top link in the description box below will take you to my corresponding blog post. That is always the best place to shop from. I will be sharing links today with you in that corresponding blog post. Also, outfit and beauty details can always be found there as well. I recently shared a video, what's in my everyday handbag? Well, today's video is not going to be on the topic of the everyday handbag because typically that bag needs to carry a lot of essentials. Today's video is on the topic of what style of handbag is going to flatter the shape of an inverted triangle. I highly encourage you to watch my everyday handbag video, and I will have that linked. And stay tuned because the next shape we will be uncovering is the shape that I am, which is the rectangle. If you're unsure if you are an inverted triangle or not, well, just know that your shoulders or bust need to be larger than your hip measurements. If you want to know how to figure this out, there's lots of resources out on the web. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your shoulder, your chest, your waist, and your hip measurements. Your shoulder or bust measurements must be at least 5% larger than your hip measurements to be an inverted triangle. For example, if your shoulders measure 36 inches, then your hips would need to measure 34 1/4 inches or less. Now, like all body shapes, inverted triangles are going to come in different sizes, and this is going to be based on your height and your weight. So in knowing that, we have to break it down into 3 separate categories. And in order to make this information easier to understand and for you to decode what category you're going to fall into, we are going to have 3 separate fitting rooms. Fitting room number 1 is going to be for the short inverted triangles. Fitting room number 2 is going to be for the average height inverted triangles, and fitting room number 3 is going to be for the tall inverted triangles. Within each fitting room, there is going to be 4 dressing rooms. So again, we have the short fitting room, the average fitting room, and the tall fitting room. Within each of those 3 fitting rooms will be 4 dressing rooms. And each of you inverted triangles out there today are going to go to one of the fitting rooms, and then you will have your own separate dressing room. So let's get started. And I highly encourage you take some notes so that you know which fitting room you're going to go into and what dressing room. Let's start with fitting room number 1, which is for the short ladies. If you're curious if you are considered short or not, if you are of the height of 4 foot 9 inches to 5 foot 2 inches in the fashion industry, you would be classified as short. Now, there are 4 body sizes to the short inverted triangle, and how we determine what size you are and what dressing room you're going to go into is dictated by your weight. So listen very carefully. In dressing room number 1 will be those that are short and petite. Petite means that you weigh between 90 and 110 pounds. In this dressing room, you are going to choose handbags with long straps that fall at your hip to balance your broad shoulders. Avoid large, chunky handbags that aren't proportional to your small frame. In dressing room number 2, you're going to be the medium weight That means you weigh between 100 and 145 pounds. The ladies in this dressing room are going to carry a tiny clutch that lands at your thighs to draw the eye there. Don't carry oversized handbags that will lessen your stature. And don't choose bags that rest under your arm, which adds weight to your upper half. In the third dressing room will be our short, full-figured inverted triangles that weigh between 135 pounds to 170 pounds. In this dressing room, these ladies are going to wear handbags with long straps that fall at your hip to balance out your shoulders. Don't carry oversized purses or handbags that hit at your waist. In the last dressing room, in fitting room number 1, the short fitting room, is the plus-sized inverted triangle. This lady weighs 155 pounds or more. Basically, what she needs to do is steer clear of any tiny clutches or tiny handbags. And again, ladies, this is when you are choosing a handbag for aesthetic purposes. Again, we're not talking about the everyday handbag because a tiny clutch may not cut it for the average lady. But if you are going someplace and you are going to be kind of decked out, or maybe you're going to church or brunch with some girlfriends, or maybe you have to go to a baby or bridal shower and you want to wear a handbag that's aesthetically pleasing to your body shape, these tips will certainly help. Next up, fitting room number 2, and this is going to be for the average height inverted triangles. To be classified as average height in the fashion industry, you would be between the height of 5 foot 3 inches and 5 foot 7 inches. I happen to be considered average height. I'm 5 foot 6 inches. Again, there are 4 sizes to the average inverted triangle, and her weight will determine which dressing room she is going to go into. Dressing room number 1 is for the average height slender. That means you weigh between 90 to 125 pounds. This lady would want to carry a handbag with long straps that falls at her hips to add fullness to the shape that she has there. Avoid large or chunky hobo handbags that sit just under your arm, which only add to the heft on your top half. In dressing room number 2 is going to be our average height medium weight inverted triangle. She's going to weigh between 115 pounds and 170 pounds. This lady would want to avoid tiny clutch purses held at her hip area because the combination of a small bag with your small hips will make your bottom half practically disappear. Again, let's not forget you're wider on top. If you're full-sized in average height, your weight is going to fall between 155 pounds to 195 pounds. This lady is going to want to carry a full-sized satchel, shopper, or tote that hangs at her hip and adds imaginary weight to her lower body. Steer clear of hobo bags, which add weight to your top half. If you're a plus-size average height inverted triangle, you weigh over 180 pounds and you're going to want to carry a barrel handbag or tote that hits at your hip area, adding a visual element of weight there. The last fitting room we're going to enter is fitting room number 3, and that's going to be for our tall inverted triangles. Again, like the other fitting rooms, there are going to be 4 different sizes, so pay attention to see what dressing room you are going to go into. If you're a tall slender and weigh between 110 to 150 pounds, wear handbags with long straps that fall at your hip to add some weight there. Avoid chunky handbags that rest under your arm, which add weight to your top half. If you're a tall medium weight, you would weigh between 135 pounds to 195 pounds. Avoid chunky handbags that rest under your arm, which adds weight to your top half. If you're tall and full-sized, That means you weigh between 175 pounds and 230 pounds. Pick handbags that fall at your hip to add weight there. Don't carry a purse that sits under your arm and adds more width to your top half. And for the tall plus sized, she's going to weigh over 205 pounds. Steer clear of any tiny handbags or any sort of tiny clutches. There you have it, ladies. The 3 fitting rooms and the 4 dressing rooms within those fitting rooms. Share with us what fitting room and dressing room you went into today and what you learned from today's video. Now, if you're in question because you're not sure with weights because some of them overlap, I would consider your height. So if you are taller, then you may be at the more higher end. But I think we all know what we would be classified as. Again, I know I'm clearly average height because I'm 5'6". If I had to decide what dressing room I went into when we do my shape, we're not there yet, I'm going to base that off of my weight, but if I'm in between, I'm going to be able to gauge that because I'm kind of middle of the road for the average height. So take that into consideration. You've got this, you can do it. On the corresponding blog post, which again will be your top link in the description box below, you will route to the post where you can shop several links to find the handbag that fits your body style, that beautiful silhouette of the inverted triangle. So take your notes with you, do some shopping. I provided plenty of places that I like to go to when I am shopping for handbags and small leather goods in all different price points. So there's something out there for everyone. And just take into consideration if you're someone who dresses more with blacks and a black handbag would be suitable for you, or if maybe a brown. And then have some fun because again, this is the handbag or purse you're choosing for aesthetic purposes. So have a little fun and don't hesitate to play with some color. Stay tuned because again, up next will be the rectangle shaped ladies, and then we will move on to triangle and we will end with hourglass. As always, follow me on all my social media sites. I'm very active on Instagram stories. Be sure to share today's video with all of your inverted triangle friends and family members. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you right back here on YouTube.